I kind of have like a Loveline question for you.
Please, Professor, go right ahead. Is it about you or Chris?
Well, we'll talk shit on Chris in a little bit. We'll get
Not
there.
a little bit, very soon. So go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So
Remember whose show this is.
Okay.
He means him.
Right.
He means Nadav. Yeah.
No, I mean Drew.
Yeah. Okay.
ENM is a hot topic in the dating apps these days, and I just want to know how tenable you think that is as a relationship.
ENM.
Ethically non-monogamous.
Oh. I've talked about that here, haven't I, guys? Have you heard me talk about it?
Yeah, you said it never works.
I said, no. I don't say it never works. First of all, let's qualify it. Do whatever the fuck you want, everybody. I'm not telling you anybody how to live their life. I'm telling you that I've had decades of experience in medicine and in the psychiatric setting, and I've seen shit. And if you want the benefit of that wisdom, that experience, and you could argue I'm biased by the time and my age and all this stuff. No, certain things are just just humanity, just things about human behavior and human. And here's the thing about it. Nothing wrong with it. If it worked, I'd be very into it. It sounds like wonderful. It sounds fun and exciting.
Yeah.
It ends badly.
It does sound complicated.
Just think about it. This is the way I try to explain it to people, which is there are armies of professionals trying to help people. Just two people have a relationship. It takes armies to get two people to get along and sustain a relationship. And where this really goes off the rail is if you're trying to raise kids. Kids need simple, stable environments for long periods of time. And if you're having complicated feelings and complicated threats to your relationship and involved in things that have you tied up emotionally and away from the kids, it's not good for them. You need to focus on the children and the environment in which they're being reared. Now, if you're never going to have kids and you're not really, there is all kinds of theories about relationship out there. There's this thing called the triad theory of love. The guy's name is like, I'll tell you his name. He's looking it up right now. Triad theory. Steinberg's.
Triangular theory.
Triangular theory of love. Get me an image of that, of the triangular theory of love. There it is. And you see the different points on the triangle. You need passion, right? And we talk a lot about that in this shit. Be really attracted to the person. You gotta be attracted to that person every day for many, many years. I'm hoping my wife and I are an example of that. So we've had the passion from the beginning. It doesn't go away, interestingly. You can fuck it up, but it tends to be a very renewing piece of the relationship. Intimacy. We had to fight for that because I was such a fucking workaholic. And she kept saying there wasn't enough intimacy. I didn't know what she was talking about. And as a male, we are very much sort of clueless for many reasons on that front. And I feel like, thankfully, she had commitment, and so did I. So even that one part of the triangle wasn't always there the way it should be. We eventually figured that out. And now we have all three. But the commitment is what keeps you in the relationship. And if the intimacy was being sought outside of the relationship, it would have unraveled. Everything would unravel. We never would have found our way back, and the passion would have gone to somebody else, and it would just have unraveled. So commitment, and you could argue whether this is an accurate theory or not. I understand it's just a theory, but commitment is the piece that people sort of leave off the table. And I am here to tell you that when you commit to somebody in front of God and everybody, things change immediately. It's a different feeling.
Right.
And all the assholes that say, it's just a piece of paper. Yeah, every contract is just a piece of paper, fuckwad. Every contract is just a piece of paper. And guess what? You put your name on it, it's bound. Contracts are binding. It just so happens that a marriage contract is the only contract you have, you and your spouse, with society. Mm-hmm. It's your societal contract. And I'm saying to minimize that. So here's the old man. Now I'm like the guy, get off my porch guy. I'm the old man talking from my perspective. I just can tell you, there's a reason these things have been around throughout human history. There's a reason. And if you go into every culture, it's the same. And yes, there are variations on the theme, but there's two things I would say, God, I'm getting heavy today. See what you did to me, Professor? You bring me back to academia. But there are two things I would say, these are alarming statements three alarming things that people say. This time it will be different. Now we figured it out. I'm on a holy mission. Those three things portend trouble. Things are not that certain. Things have been around for a long time. Just learn from the wisdom of the past. Yes, you can alter it and get your own version of it, but don't say, I figured it out for everybody. Now we figured it out. This time it will be different. No, it's never different. It may have a different time course, and it is always somewhat different, but not the way you mean it when you say this time it'll be different. And what was the third one? A holy mission. God damn it. I've seen so many screwed up things in medicine where doctors have a holy mission and they centralize their authority. I'm giving a lecture on that in Bermuda next week.
Really?
What?
Like that they do holy missions? Well, like what do you mean by that?
I will hear those words come out of doctors' mouths. For instance, the reason we have the opioid crisis. The opioid crisis was two things. They scared the shit out of doctors by not suing them for malpractice for not treating pain adequately. They made it a criminal issue. So doctors were fined personally on civil courts or sent to jail in criminal courts. Freaked us all out. So we sent everybody to pain management specialists, and pain management doctors are on the record historically saying it was our holy mission to eradicate pain. Right? You get it?
Yeah.
Holy mission. And I've seen something similar going on with COVID. One death is too many. What? Well, if one death is too many, we're not in a pandemic, because pandemic is defined by excess death. So you're on a holy mission where one death is too many. That's fucked up. Now your judgment's all off. You're not going to be able to respond to the reality of a pandemic where there are excess death. So I'm giving a lecture on this in Bermuda in a week or so. So
I'll have to hear it.
Net zero anything is probably not the good approach to most things.
Absolute, all yes, all no, anything. And human behavior and medicine is just all a giant mistake. It's just, you've got to be... And we're in a time now where, Professor, you're going to send me down this academic path. It's so weird that everybody has these personality traits that make them think sort of all one way and all the other. There's a lot of that going on, and that is unhealthy.
Right.
It's unhealthy. Everything is much grayer than it appears. Everything in human behavior and human experiences.
I have a question, Drew.
Oh, yeah. Andy, what's going on, buddy?
But so of those three things that you said you don't like people saying.
Let me write it down so I'm make sure I don't forget. Holy mission, right?
Yeah.
This time different.
Uh-huh. And then the last one.
What was the last one? Last one was
that we figured it out.
We figured it out now. We figured it out. Now we figured it out. You know, it's for the first time, because I've been through a wave of that. We called that the 1960s. And that was another fucked up consequence. And we called that the 1970s. That's what everything that set up everything for all the shit I'm seeing now, all the trauma of kids and that kind of thing. Okay, go ahead.
I see. So wait a minute.
Yeah.
And now this is in reference to medicine, not.
I think these are general principles. They're definitely in regards to medicine, but I think they're general principles. I think they're general principles. Anything sort of anthropological. You know what I mean? Anything about the human experience.
But didn't you kind of just say that you figured out relationships, like polyamorous relationships?
No, I didn't figure it out.
No?
I'm saying, do what you want.
Yeah.
I can tell you from experience, it doesn't work out.
Right.
It just tends not to work out. I'm not saying it can't work out for some people. Yeah.
Okay,
no,
okay.
somebody might make it go. For somebody, it might be exactly the right thing to do, by the way. And I have no problem with that. But I'm saying for the average person, it tends, in my experience, it doesn't turn out well. And it's not a good idea for child rearing. I'm not saying I figured it out. I'm not saying this time it's different. I'm saying it tends not to be that way.
I'll tell my date that Drew said it's not going to work. The E&M thing.
Oh.
Like Dr. Drew said this is not.
See, the problem
tenable.
here, Chad, is you pack a lot into those kinds of statements. You say, so what's he talking about here? Do you guys aware there's somebody that wants to be E&M?
I mean, he's right there. He can tell you
No.
everything.
I'm asking if you guys have heard this before, because I imagine you would have busted his balls already if you knew he was dating somebody who wanted to.
I mean, Chad's a dating machine. You know,
are you?
He's just
You have
doing
lots of
what he
success
does.
here?
Yeah, I go on a lot of dates here.
How do you find your dates?
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty good. One recently has been pretty nice.
And she's the E&M one.
Yeah. So that's the
oh boy. So is she just saying she just doesn't want to be exclusive?
I mean, I think it's like a trend on the dating apps now. Like a lot of people have E&M in their profiles.
Meaning, I don't want you to get too
Right.
invested
Fuck
here.
commitment.
Oh.
Yeah, commitment.
That's
that
what
kind of
that
thing.
means.
Mhm.
I always thought it was one of those like, well, I'm an empath, like one of those like
INTJ
yeah.
shit.
I just saw
What's
I saw the
INTJ?
letters.
That's the
What is-
Myers-Briggs.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I just see like a preview, like the 3 letters. I'm like, oh, this is just some
It's a
behavior
personality
bullshit I don't
profile. It's
understand.
so funny. We should do some of the Myers-Briggs stuff here. It's not even the Myers-Briggs, just the big 5 personality.
Sure.
You notice how I've not. We're going to do more tests. Look forward to that, guys. More tests coming on this show. But I have found the big 5 not that interesting. You know what I mean? So what's you're introverted?
What is it? I've always run in the other direction where I'm like, this is just fucking. This is a long
it's just
fucking
they
test.
found that there are 5 domains of personality that if you qualify each of those 5 domains, you pretty much can characterize all the basic personality styles. I think that's
Okay.
it. Not pathologize, not the pathologies of personality, which we've been mostly focused on, but just the personality functions.
But-
Say, are you open or closed? Are you warm or or cold?
Is that useful for anything outside of
I
Tinder
don't
and
find
Bumble?
it. I don't find it useful. That's why I don't focus on it. I don't talk about it.
It honestly just feels like the new type of horoscope shit. Like I'm a
It-
fucking
no.
Libra, I'm emotional.
Well, but this actually this is founded in good science. Don't get me wrong. It is in good science. I just don't, it doesn't interest me. And by the way, the other thing I'd watch out for always is when people describe themselves, I worry about that. I think evaluation needs to be done objectively from afar.
It's a really
professor.
interesting point.
I
Professor
totally
saying
agree with that.
Professor saying that.
Yeah.
And by the way, not from somebody who's intimately involved either, because just the other day I did a psychopath test to my wife, thinking that was going to turn out positive, and it didn't. Lo and behold, so I did not think it was going to turn out positive. Honey, I love you, and whatever we're gonna. I wonder if I should just call her. Is it time to call
You want
her?
to call Susan? I'm into it.
All right, let's call her. Let's do it. Sorry,
Wait,
Chris.
what?
No, Chad.
Chad?
He just what?
I called him Chris. I want to talk about the Chris Chad thing.
And wait, hold on. What are we asking Susan here?
Is she okay after her last visit?
Oh,
here?
okay.
Yeah. So,
To be clear, I want to be monogamous. That's what I want to do.
and what does she say when you
Healthy
tell her
Chad.
that? What does she say when you tell her that?
Yeah, I mean we've talked about it, but we haven't got.
Find out what she really means by that.
Well,
She just
okay. To be fair, this date I've only seen a couple times. We're not like anything really.
or you're a stalker. You're going to start stalking her. You're too into her.
Oh boy.
Be careful. Be careful.
I didn't pick up on that notion, but I think, Drew, you're the expert here.
And then we'll see. Keep an eye on him. Keep an
just-
eye. You can get too into somebody. You got to be careful.
Let's just call Susan.
We'll use her. We'll use her as a foil for this to talk about it.